Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a lovely Sunday. How are we? Let's talk. Let's talk about Uncharted. It's being what we could consider to be review bombed, I guess, by critics. Now, this is actually currently out in the UK. I haven't had a chance to watch it this weekend because I am moving house, as you can see by everything disappearing slowly around the place. But I thought we would just take a look at what the critics are saying. I'll be watching this next week at some point. And I think it's worth taking a look at. So let's dive into it, shall we? So, Uncharted reviews trash. Tom Holland's vapid video game adaptation. Now that is going ham on Tom Holland. Now Tom Holland's actually a good actor. But I think that there's a lot of people, because I was having a discussion with my friend who came over and helped me paint my house today about Tom Holland, and he hasn't watched Spider-Man No Way Home, and he's just used to Tom Holland as Spider-Man. And I said, well, look, I think Tom Holland's actually a pretty decent actor. I think they gave him quite a lot of range in Spider-Man No Way Home. But if Uncharted is just making him play Tom Holland Spider-Man pre-No Way Home without any range, then I think that's going to be tiresome on people. Personally, I think. Because people want, a pretty serious movie. They don't want to see Spider-Man thrown into a Tomb Raider universe and just called Uncharted. They want to see Uncharted. And obviously, my friend was in agreement with this, but obviously he can't comment because he's not seen No Way Home and they've not seen the range that Tom Holland displayed in that film, which was actually quite good. But let's take a look and see what people are saying. And like I said, we can sort of consider this to be review bombing, as it were. So the first reviews for Uncharted are in, and they have a few nice things to say about the video game adaptation. Still fresh off the incredible box office success of No Way Home, Tom Holland will soon be seen in another potential blockbuster for Sony. Inspired by the popular video game series developed by Naughty Dog Studios for PlayStation, the Uncharted movie entered development in 2008. I mean, it was, they say, a long, painful process. Oh my god, that is an understatement of the century. So the film finally got off the ground when Mark Wahlberg signed on to play Sully, followed by Holland's casting as a younger iteration of Nathan Drake. Which that's kind of, a lot of people seem to have a problem with that as well. Like they want, old Nathan Drake. They don't want super, super young Nathan Drake, which I get. To direct a script penned by Rafe Lee Judkins, who did The Wheel of Time, which is not anything to shout home about. John Hanley Rosenberg and Mark D. Walker. Venom's Ruben Fleischer was brought on board, and Antonio Banderas stars as the villain alongside Tati Gabrielle as his sidekick. So the last notable cast member includes Sophia Ali as Drake's love interest. Uncharted releases in UK theatres today, which is February 11th, followed by February 18th in the US. But that's what people are saying. So with Uncharted's release on the horizon, again, it's here already, the first critical reactions to the movie are coming in, and they're slamming it as another vapid video game adaptation. At the time of writing, the film was sitting in the low 40% range on the tomato meter, which is sure to fluctuate, obviously this early, which makes a lot of sense. But let's see what they're saying. So, you don't need to be a gamer to love Uncharted, you just need to have a very soft spot for buddy movies, maps, puzzle, pirate ships, and Holland's chest. Which is kind of putting it down as, that's positive, quite frankly. But it also, it's negative in the fact that it's saying, this is literally what it boils down to. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here. There truly is no future for the video game to movie adaptation if Hollywood can't even crack Uncharted. Pretty goddamn harsh. Really harsh, in fact. Even Tom Holland, riding a wave of global Spider-Man love, can do little to save this mediocre Tomb Raider knockoff about a modern-day bartender come treasure hunter who's searching for the lost gold of Magellan. So the movie feels uptight, joyless, even when rifling on much-loved old favourites. If you can't actually enjoy lifting bits from Raiders of the Lost Ark and Jackie Chan's Police Story, you should leave them where you found them. Like, they really are going hard on this. But some of these things I would say, like, a lot of it's just, Spider-Man love and, like, this is pre-Spider-Man. You got to remember that. Like, people hadn't given Tom Holland a chance to really show range yet, because he hasn't. Like, he hasn't been given the chance to show range. And this is awful. A plastic archaeological swashbuckler which goes through the genre's motions with all the elegance and verve of a glazed-over gamer Pavlovically prodding the buttons on his joypad. Ooh! Oof! Oh, it's hard. Honestly, it's hard. Really, really hard. With laser-guided precision, with the exactitude of a Nobel-winning rocket scientist or a world-class neurosurgeon, this film measures right up to what you'd expect from a movie based on a PlayStation video game. I still am kind of shocked with what people expect of a video game movie. Like, does it do the story? Yes. Okay. Cool. Right. That's half the problem, because a lot of them just don't do the story in the video games. The characterizations here are more likely to annoy than delight the hardcore fans of the game. I mean, that's I would say it's from movies for kids, but still, I'd say that's a worthy sort of justification. Uncharted is a diet version of Indiana Jones. I mean, yeah, but it is kind of, right? Like, it is a diet version of Indiana Jones anyway. Like, we know that. To say otherwise is a little bit dumb. Like, it is that treasure hunter Indiana Jones genre, right? So I don't think this is a justified critique, but whatever. That coasts by on the charisma of its star, Spider-Man's Tom Holland. That's not anything really bad, is it? This is a tiny, super tiny. Uncharted makes a decent play for filling an indie-shaped hole in the movie market right now, but the series will need to beef up its reserves of charm and swagger to be in the same league as cinema's favourite archaeologists. I think that says archaeologist, yeah. Jesus, it's so bloody low. So small to see. But then we have this as well, right? So, Uncharted reviews genre last seen with National Treasure, says director. Or revives genre, last seen with National Treasure. I think this is a fair comparison, in terms of that's how they wanted to depict it. But maybe that's not the right depiction, and that's what's put people off. I don't know. But here's a statement from the director. So he says, well, my point being is that it's a genre that they just don't make that much anymore. So I approach this more as somebody who got to make a treasure hunting, globe-trotting adventure more than a video game adaptation. And that's maybe where they went wrong. And while it was based on a game that, lucky for us, it was incredible source material with a great sense of humour and some of the best action set pieces in all of video games, but at the end of the day, I knew I had to make a movie that would be entertaining for people. Okay? Whether or not they've heard of the game or anybody else. I mean, National Treasure was, I think, the last one. Now, that's interesting, because, look, if you just make you don't have to know the game to watch something that's based on a game and is a direct adaptation of a game to enjoy the adaptation, right? You don't have to know the video game, because people enjoyed the video game without having something for it to be based on in the first place, right? Like, that's how that works. So I find that to be quite interesting. And a bit of a nonsensical comment from the director there, to sit there and say, well, I had to make a movie that would be entertaining, whether or not they've heard of the game. I mean, you don't have to. You just make a good game. So, is it being review bombed? Maybe a little bit. Potentially. It is being review bombed in terms of its negative reaction anyway. Like, that much is true. And this is what they always claim everyone else is doing. Oh, you're just review bombing something that we love. So we can say it backwards now, can't we? But this comment from the director is super dumb. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. If you're new here, please do hit subscribe. Guys, please do turn the bell notifications on and set them to all, because YouTube keeps clicking off that. And actually, if you've done it in the past, just double check and see if it's back there again. Because again, like I said, YouTube keeps clicking off of it. So it's a little bit odd. Hope you've had a great weekend, ladies and gents. Follow me over on Twitter and Instagram at Missed Reviews. Would love to have you on both of my social medias. But thank you so much. Take care.